This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
My lord changed his color. He's now a little Asian man. Welcome to the Troll Patrol Live. It's a freaking Wednesday. And supposedly we have a new episode of South Park tonight. So we're going to do a truncated show. We're going to be on for 2 hours. I'm already making Holiday say Jesus fucking Christ. So we're gonna take you up. We're gonna find out what that news be doing up until the 10 o'clock hour on Kick and D Live. We're gonna watch South Park live on Comedy Central. I usually show it the next day, but since we're on Kick, let's go the fuck all out. We'll watch it together. Sorry, YouTube peeps. They enforce copyright over there. YouTube sucks. But if you did not watch the show last night, if you're on YouTube and you're still around at the 10 o'clock hour, the caller I had from last night, that video will debut at the end of this stream for you YouTube people. So look at me. Just trying to take care of everybody. Let's take care of my head right now. Let's light one up, tip one back. Oh, the bong emote. The bong emote that Byronic used just now. That is only available on Kick. Twitch told me no on that one. Twitch told me no on the light one up, tip one back. So I'm glad you're using my emotes that I made for Twitch. That Twitch was like, nuh-uh, too spicy. We got a lot of news to get to. We're gonna have to get snabby with it. We go over a few things we're gonna talk about. The FBI falsely claiming that the sniper from this morning's ICE facility shooting was a leftist. It appears that we've got yet another apolitical shooter, despite what was supposedly written on the bullets. We'll get into that. Court rules against the Justice Department in the Luigi Mangione case, says they're out here posting bullshit that may jeopardize their ability to get a conviction. J.D. Vance says to stop calling Nazis Nazis, and that all the violence is one-sided. I agree, J.D. Vance. All the political violence in this country is coming from one specific side. And it's the side with the Nazis, by the way. J.D. Vance, who once called Trump America's Hitler, said he could be smarmy like Nixon, or he could end up being America's Hitler. Well, guess what, J.D.? Jesse Waters says he wants to bomb the UN after the escalator stopped on Trump yesterday. There is a whole issue with James Comey, apparently set to be indicted, despite the fact that a prosecutor has resigned, refusing to bring charges. We'll see if a grand jury will actually indict him. Special election in Arizona last night goes to the Democrats. If we have time, we're going to hear from, is it Adelita Gravala? I think I just fucked her name up. I have an interview with her, but we're pressed for time tonight, so we might not get to it. But she is the vote that brings us to the discharge petition for the Epstein files. Speaking of which, the Epstein survivors are fed up with the bullshit from the Trump Justice Department. A mysterious statue of Trump and Jeffrey Epstein holding hands appeared on the National Mall today. Trump reacted to Jimmy Kimmel last night. Erica Kirk reacted to Jezebel putting a curse on her husband 2 days before he was assassinated. Megyn Kelly apparently really upset about this. A conservative group has decided they want to be like Charlie Kirk. They went uninvited to an HBCU, put up incendiary signs, and now are trying to play victim now that they got kicked off campus. Jojo Siwa, the Republican candidate for mayor in New York City, has accused Andrew Cuomo of trying to bribe him to get him out of the race. Holy shit. By the way, that debate is on October 9th, I think. I looked up several. We got debates coming up because we got a couple of governor's races. Abigail Spanberger against Winsome Earl Sears in Virginia. There's the New Jersey governor's race. We have the NYC mayoral race, and we have some debates coming up. I think the NYC mayoral debate, it was either the 9th or the 16th. I didn't write it down yet. I'm sorry. I looked it up, though. We're coming up on that debate. I can't wait for that one. Jojo Siwa, Andrew Cuomo, and Zohran Mamdani. And fucking Eric Adams. Eric Adams still in this. Fuck. Man, that is 3 insane characters up there with Mamdani. There was an hours-long standoff with police at a 7-Eleven, and the suspect was able to get away. Thieves from Texas apparently drove all the way to Minnesota in order to hold a family hostage for their cryptocurrency, and your cat wants a massage. All that and a lot friggin' more tonight at the Troll Patrol Live. Good evening, Vernon, Jack. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, it's from the left. You think the violence in this country comes from the left? Oh, buddy, am I getting ready to lay one on you? Ho. I love right-wingers that are always ill-informed about this shit. Domestic extremist-related killings in the U.S. by perpetrator affiliation. 76% comes from the right, 4% comes from the left, 18% attributed to domestic Islamic extremism, which is also right-wing. What dude's profile are we talking about, Vernon? Are we talking like, stay with me, don't leave. I want you guys to be exposed to facts, because the guy's brother, or if you're talking about the shooter from the ICE facility this morning, the guy's brother said he's apolitical, said he isn't into politics. And we have a series of shootings like that, where we've got people radicalized on the internet that aren't actually for a cause. And this should worry you people. But no, you don't give a shit about shootings unless you can try to, blame the left for it somehow, right? Here, you want a different source? That was the ADL. This is the Prosecution Project. The ideologies behind political violence in America, you can see, overwhelmingly come from the right. The man who targeted and killed Democratic state lawmaker Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark, Trump supporter. The man charged with an attempted assassination of Pennsylvania Democratic Governor Josh Shapiro in April, Trump supporter. The man convicted of orchestrating a series of shootings at the homes of 4 Democratic elected officials in New Mexico, Trump supporter. The man who tried to kidnap Democratic House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and assaulted her husband Paul. By the way, he apparently is not going to recover. Suffered severe brain damage from that. That was a Trump supporter. The man who wanted to hang Mike Pence on January 6th, Trump supporters. The man who killed the son of a Obama-appointed district judge in 2020, that was a Trump supporter. The men who were convicted of trying to kidnap Michigan's Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Trump supporters. The man who sent pipe bombs to the homes of Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and Hillary Clinton, Trump supporter. The man who killed left-wing activist Heather Heyer after driving his car into a crowd of counter-protesters in Charlottesville in 2017, Trump supporter. Timothy, my friend, you're the dumbass here. I just showed you the statistic. Here's a whole list. Trump supporters. Here's the Prosecution Project says the ideology behind political violence in this country. Right-wingers. This is the Anti-Defamation League says domestic extremist-related killings in the U.S. by perpetrator of affiliation. Right-wing extremism, 76%. How am I, brother, how am I propaganda? I'm showing you the fucking facts. You are the loser here. This is why I just call right-wingers fucking morons, my friend. You can't accept facts. It is wild. But you want to demonize people all day long. How is it propaganda? You're a dumbass. If you think the statistics, I'm showing you the statistics, citing my sources. Here, let me show you another one. Propaganda my ass. Propaganda comes from the right. That's all you guys deal in. The U.S. Justice Department removes a study finding that far-right extremists commit far more violence. A report finding right-wing extremists have killed more Americans than other domestic terrorist groups vanished from the DOJ website. Huh? It's almost like the right is trying to propagandize you into believing things that aren't true. Please, Timothy, join us. Join us in reality.
Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
No, brother, from the DOJ. And what's wrong with the Southern Poverty Law Center? I know that right-wingers love to attack an organization that represents underserved and poor people in the South. Yeah, what's wrong with the Guardian, you dipshit? You've got nothing. All you can do is, like, put your fingers in your ears and be like, la, 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 because you're a fucking moron. If all you can do is say it's bullshit, you've got nothing. You lost the argument. Sorry, brother. You are fucking stupid. And, like, Rush Limbaugh even saw you idiots before he died and said,
as a conservative, it's getting harder and harder to not look like a kook.
Because you guys just fucking ignore facts. Well, let's get to the news because we got South Park to watch in about an hour and 48 minutes, if my math is correct, which might not be. I'm not very good at math.
But then you take my 75% chance of winning and then add 66 and 2/3%. I got 141 and 2/3 chance of winning.
Yeah, dude, you're a fucking moron. 100% grade A fucking moron. Let's go to the shooting this morning. Also, thank you, Holiday, for alerting me to it. No, I was not up. Buddy, I'll keep talking shit because you're a fucking moron. I showed you the facts. I backed myself up. I proved you fucking wrong. So, if you would like to talk some shit, call the fuck in. 917-830-4359. I'm happy to talk to anybody. I will, unlike Charlie Kirk, I will debate anybody. Well, Charlie isn't debating anybody anymore. How am I a dumbass? I'm a dumbass because I don't subscribe to your warped worldview that you got propagandized to believe by right-wing bullshit? You think I'm a dumbass? Holy fuck, dude. 917-830-4359. You can call in. You can tell me all about it. Tell me about how I triggered you. We had a shooting in an ICE facility this morning in Texas. Warlord, welcome in. Also, everybody ignore Warlord. He's just a shit stirrer. I love him so very much. He's the head mod here. Oh. Buddy, he wasn't a lefty. You guys are coming in here and being fucking lunatics. But welcome in. If you would like to actually stay and be informed, then more power to you. You will find out. Wasn't a lefty, despite what Kash Patel wanted to tell you.
That's right, Chris. Right behind me, you can actually see federal agents staged, and there's even more in the back of this ICE office. That's because this is where that deadly shooting took place.
It triggers him. Oh, does me mentioning Charlie Cuck trigger you? Get Charlie out of your mouth. Fuck Charlie Cuck. That fucking idiot.
You live in sexual anarchy?
Come on, tell me more about how Charlie Cuck is your favorite person. You like to suck his dick. I will tell you what kind of a loser, racist, white nationalist piece of shit Charlie Kirk was. A grifter propagandist that was paid by billionaires to tell idiots like you what you want to hear. He went to college campuses because he couldn't fucking debate somebody like me. He couldn't debate a Sam Cedar or Lance from the Surfs or fucking Mehdi Hassan. Charlie Kirk didn't have the balls to do that. He had to go to college campuses to try to prop clip 19, 18-year-olds that were walking back and forth between classes, selectively edit it to make it look like he had a veneer of respectability. What's wrong with gay pirates? Brother, you're a fucking moron. Timothy, suck my cock.
I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me.
Charlie was funded by far-right billionaires to get you to believe the bullshit that you believe. That's why I show you the statistics on extremism in this country, and you don't believe it because you have been propagandized by idiots like Charlie Kirk, who are paid by billionaires to get you to have opinions that are against your own best interest. Now, let's talk about the sniper from this morning at the ICE facility.
That's right, Chris. Right behind me, you can actually see federal...
My name is Justin.
There's even more in the back of this ICE office. That's because this is where that deadly shooting took place, where one detainee was killed and 2 others critically injured. Just before dawn Wednesday, what started off as a police response to an officer assist quickly changed.
Just be advised, it's still active shooter. There's a sniper on the roof. Have everybody stay for very, very far locations.
Dallas police say a gunman opened fire at the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Office
and killed detainees.
Freeway I-35E.
It was very, very dark.
This man, who did not want to be identified, says he lives in this building right across the freeway. He says after hearing 2 shots, he ran out on the balcony.
He would shoot. He would wait 10 seconds. Maybe 15 seconds.
Morgan Gal, welcome in.
According to a statement from ICE officials, the shooter fired at the building, including at a transport van in the Sallyport. They say 3 detainees who were inside the van were shot. DPD Chief Daniel Como.
The DPD was able to locate the shooter, who was deceased. We're going to be working this investigation shoulder to shoulder with our federal partners.
ICE officials say the shooter died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Dallas FBI field office.
Hey now, Warlord, he didn't have terrible aim with that last shot. Now this I find it hard to believe. Anti-ice on the bullet casing. Give me a break. And the FBI posting this within like minutes of being on the scene.
Us, they found shell casings near the suspected shooter with the phrase anti-ice.
This is just like leftist best. No leftist has ever said anti-ice
engraved on it.
There will be no resource not utilized to bring all those individuals who are responsible to bring them to justice and to hold them accountable.
I can imagine that was terrifying.
Authorities tell us no law enforcement members were injured in this shooting, and as they continue their investigation, Dallas Mayor Eric Johnson turns focus to the victims and their families.
Please join me in praying for
the families of the folks who lost their lives today.
And we're still working to learn more about the detainee who was killed and the 2 others who were injured, as well as the suspect, 29-year-old Joshua John. But for now, we'll send it over to our Jason Wheeler, who's taking a look at just how did the shooter get access to this point.
Yeah, Brittany, thank you for that. I want to start us off here on the map with the wide view. This is downtown Dallas that you're seeing over here. And we'll go first to Dallas Love Field because I think a lot of us know where that is, and it's a good starting point just to give you your bearings. About 1.6 miles southwest of Dallas Love Field is that ICE facility that we are talking about where that shooting took place earlier today. And I want to draw your attention to this building, these law offices directly behind that ICE facility. This is where officers say those shots were fired from today.
He shot from a law office. Beautiful.
Here of what this would look like for someone who is up on top of this building. As you can see, they had just a wide open view of this ICE facility. And again, this was just after we had seen the first light of day. So this parking lot would have lights in it and so forth. This person would have been probably very hard for anyone to have seen on top of that building there. Let's go and give you sort of this overhead view here. This is how the shots would have been fired, just straight across this parking lot. Zero obstructions here getting in the way. This is a pretty good distance, though, that we're talking about here, estimated by the maps at about 500 feet. But of course, those bullets finding their intended targets at the end of this parking lot here. Want to bring your attention to this as well, just because this is called Track Reports. This was started by Syracuse University many years ago, where they sort of put together this ICE detention capacity and activity. And as you can see, Texas has become a real hotbed for ICE activity and detention centers. And this doesn't even include the largest one in Fort Bliss that will accommodate up to 5,000 detainees. It just opened a couple of months ago. And
all these concentration camps.
Texas has the most ICE detainees. This is as of September of this year, so very recent. They list Texas with 13,000 detainees right now, almost as much as the next 3 states combined. So for anyone who might have been interested, Chris and Izzy and Rebecca, in targeting either ICE agents or detainees, Texas is a very target-rich environment for that.
And we'll get to that in a moment. But as our senior political reporter, our senior crime and justice reporter, your areas of expertise are merging in a troubling way.
Rebecca, I mean, without divulging your specific sources, but how did you first get word that this had taken place, and what have you learned in the hours since?
Well, so I got a text message from a source early on this morning saying you need to get out to the ICE facility. There have been multiple people shot. At the time, they thought that there might be snipers. They were very concerned. They couldn't get Dallas Fire Rescue into that area immediately to transport the victims because they didn't know, there were still shots being fired. And so they transported the victims, DPD, in their squad cars. And then we learned, obviously, that there was just one sniper. Dallas police actually used drones to go over the rooftops where they believe that there might be, where the shooter might be. And obviously, they found the shooter with that self-inflicted gunshot wound. And so early on, I was told that there were 3 victims and that at least 1 or 2 of them had died. And obviously my source was pretty accurate on all that information. And again, a lot of concern for were there any law enforcement officers that were injured at that time? And now we know that there weren't. And my source early on said that it did appear that they were targeting, the person was targeting that ICE van with the detainees, and the detainees were the target.
The detainees
the motive was he
were the target.
Hit the detainees, or was he shooting in there to hit any of the potential law enforcement?
So not ICE.
How long could it take before, how many questions need to be answered before you reach a motive?
Well, a lot, Cynthia. They're going right now through every single aspect of this suspect's life. Their social media, interviewing family, friends. Did they say anything? Were there ever indications? Did anybody try to call law enforcement prior to any of this? Were there any warning signs that, somebody could have figured out that he was planning this attack? And it clearly looks like he planned that attack. That wasn't just somebody that randomly picked a rooftop and just started shooting. That person knew what they were doing and what time perhaps those vans were going in and out of that facility.
And Jason, you just touched on how this state is more of a target because of the larger number of detainees. Are these threats becoming more common?
Yeah, you know, Fox News had a report on this with the federal government just in July, at the end of July, and they were estimating at that time that just between January, when President Trump took office, and the end of July, that ICE had seen an increase of almost 700% in assaults on ICE officers. That sounds like a huge percentage, so you do have to qualify that by saying it was just a handful in the year prior, and so that percentage is going to go up really fast if you have some increased incidents there. But it does give you an indication that as this federal government, as ICE has gotten a lot more active and a lot more aggressive in taking people into custody, we have seen also an increase in those number of incidents where people are pushing back and doing things like this as well. But again, here we don't know exactly who this person was targeting, and you know, some of these pictures like of the bullets get out there way in front of what the investigation is able to provide us.
It was the FBI director himself.
Methodically and determine for sure who exactly this person was targeting.
And Jason, I want to add a little bit to that, because typically, and I have covered a lot of these types of shootings, the FBI usually doesn't release anything. They certainly don't release pictures of any kind of evidence. This is one of the first times that I've actually seen them so early on, very quickly release what is potential evidence.
They did it with the Charlie Kirk shooter.
Very much at all. They'll just say it's an ongoing investigation, give us some really basic facts and move on. The fact that this was tweeted out so early by the FBI director is very interesting.
By a podcaster.
Media today too, since, yeah.
Yeah, and I have to imagine something that you just touched on, the fact that I would imagine detainees are not coming and going at all hours of the day, that the person identified a very specific time when that van would be there.
And these are people that were probably brought in. I was talking to an immigration lawyer earlier on that says these people were probably picked up last night, within the last, couple of days. They probably don't even have an immigration attorney yet. These are people that were just being brought in or taken or brought in from a jail somewhere that had been picked up by maybe Collin County or somewhere else. But we do know that it's a very preliminary stage of the detainee process right there.
In the meantime, President Trump issued a statement on Truth Social saying, in part, the brave men and women of ICE are just trying to do their job.
The brave men and women wearing masks.
The worst criminals out of our country, but they are facing an unprecedented increase in threats, violence, and attacks by deranged radical leftists. A reminder, investigators have not yet released...
Once again, blaming it on leftists.
Rebecca touched on for the attack, and we also don't know the backgrounds of these detainees.
Governor Abbott released a new statement calling the shooting horrific, but refusing to be deterred. He wrote, quote, "We will not let this cowardly attack impede our efforts to secure the border, enforce immigration law, and ensure law and order. The Texas Department of Public Safety and Texas National Guard will continue our work with the Department of Homeland Security and ICE to arrest, detain, and deport any individuals in this country illegally without interruption."
Right now, our team is hearing from more political leaders and also from the former head of LULAC. The League of United Latin American Citizens is the oldest Hispanic civil rights organization in the United States.
The political rhetoric, the use
100% not a leftist, and I've got the proof.
And hatred is causing violence.
Coming up tonight at 6, we're going to explore the growing worry within the...
I know you guys are so desperate to claim it was a leftist, but the facts just don't match up with that. Once again, the fact that most of the violence in this country comes from the right. 76% of all domestic extremist-related killings in the U.S. were perpetrated by the right. 4% by the left. But the shooter's brother says he was apolitical. So here is from the horse's mouth. As investigators continued to search for answers following a shooting Wednesday at an Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility in Texas that left one detainee dead and 2 others wounded, the family of the 29-year-old suspect, Joshua John, struggled to process the news. reached by phone at her home in a Dallas suburb shortly after the deadly incident, but before authorities had publicly identified John as the suspect, his distraught mother attempted but was unable to put her whipsawing emotions into words. "I'm sorry I can't talk to you right now," Sharon John told The Independent while sobbing openly. "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, but I just can't talk to you now." The first shots rang out around 6:20 a.m. according to authorities. John's body was discovered on the roof of a nearby immigration attorney's office. Police said he died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. John's 65-year-old father, Andrew, is a retired mechanical engineer. By the way, engineers, the number one profession that produces terrorists. Just throwing that out there. Sharon, also 65 and retired, worked as an administrator of a massage school in Plano. John has two siblings, a 26-year-old sister, Kyoko, and 30-year-old brother, Noah. John was equally distressed over the shooting on Wednesday, telling The Independent that he was not prepared to discuss the situation in any detail. However, it was clear he was just starting to come to grips with what was happening that morning. "I'm still trying to. I'm back and forth with the police. He then hung up. In an earlier interview, Noah John told NBC News that his brother was not particularly political and didn't have strong feelings about ICE as far as I knew. John's voter info shows that he was not registered to any political party. However, law enforcement officials said unspent shell casings located near the shooter's remains had anti-ICE messages on them. This is according to Kash Patel, who is a biased podcaster. I am a leftist. I've never heard a leftist refer to themselves as anti-ICE. At the same time, Dallas Mayor Eric Johnson emphasized that the situation remained fluid while police investigated. "Let's be patient, let's remain calm, and let's let our law enforcement partners do their job. This is an active investigation. There are still a lot of unanswered questions, and I want to encourage all of you to exercise a little bit of restraint and allow them to do their job." Yeah, Timothy, I know I'm right because I don't say shit without having evidence to back it up. How am I biased? I'm biased because I read you the source. My friend. Well, first of all, I am biased. I'm biased towards a leftist perspective, and I'm very open about it. But I go through critical thinking. I go over logic when I am analyzing these things. So my apologies that facts contradict your worldview. Sorry, Snowflake. Up yours, woke moralist. We'll see who cancels who.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
Ah, shit. My drops are being stupid tonight. Try again, JP.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
There we go. This was Cash this morning before 7 a.m. local time, and he posted this at 11:47 a.m. Oh, it was last edited at 11:47 a.m. That's why I thought he posted it before that. This is my 11:47 p.m. I'm on, or 11:47 a.m. I'm on Eastern time, so that'd be 9:47 Texas time. This morning, just before 7 a.m. local time, an individual fired multiple rounds at a Dallas, Texas ICE facility. This is not what the director of the FBI does. They do not share out evidence. And what he has done is put the entire investigation and criminal prosecution at risk. And if you want to see justice, right-wingers, you should be incredibly upset that Patel is putting... Not only, like, I assume somebody from the FBI wrote that on the bullets. Look. I have no indication that he's from the right. All we know is the facts that he was targeting detainees, which is weird that he would be anti-ICE and target detainees, and that his brother says he is apolitical. So I only operate on facts, unlike right-wingers. Fucking false flags are stupid. Anyone saying false flag is a fucking moron. And if it's false flag, then right-wingers are in charge. Then it's Kash Patel and the FBI and MAGA doing a false flag. So, I mean, all the way around, it's a corrupt government. You should be very anti the current government. Just like the FBI is putting their investigation, their criminal prosecution in jeopardy with this stupid-ass post, the Justice Department has put the criminal prosecution of Luigi Mangione in jeopardy because they keep posting about him. A judge has warned the Justice Department about their remarks over Mangione.
Developments in the killing of the United Healthcare CEO. A federal judge in New York has issued a stern warning to the Justice Department that officials could be sanctioned for public remarks about Luigi Mangione. The judge says at least 2 senior officials violated her mandate by reposting comments President Trump made about Mangione, casting him as a terrorist. Defense attorneys say the comments have prejudiced the case. We asked a criminal defense attorney and former Manhattan prosecutor about this situation.
It is unusual for government officials to make these types of comments about a pending criminal case, particularly where there is a death penalty aspect to the case, where everyone is so careful and supposed to be so careful that nothing is said that could impact on the government's ability to seek the death penalty.
Mangione has pleaded not guilty to charges including murder and stalking in the shooting death of CEO Brian Thompson last December in Midtown Manhattan.
Now, while the left has heralded Mangione's actions, there's no indication that he was on the left. It seems from all of his writings and what we know about him on social media that he was some sort of centrist, that his family was affluent, and that he was almost apolitical. He was just upset that he had back surgery and had to go through the bullshit of a healthcare company. What guy's social media? Here's the thing, is that the right, and this is probably what you're referring to, the right grabbed the wrong, what was the guy's name? John? Janice John, I forget what his name was now. You guys grabbed the wrong person. Yes, you kept sharing out a person by the same name who had leftist beliefs, but it wasn't the shooter. Oh, yes, let me go over there and mod you. Thank you, Flash, for reminding me. Oregon Gal, well, do you want moderator status? Who else have I got over there right now? Yeah, I've only got Warlord over there right now. Shelly, you're a mod. Oregon Gal, you're a mod. That does not mean that you have any kind of responsibility. I know a lot of moderators feel like they have to be in the chat. I don't think so. I mod enough people so that there's usually one of you around if something needs to be done. Is it not showing up on Kick? Is Kick not showing up? That happens sometimes. Because Kick is wonky. Yeah, DJ Dubbed, anonymously, M Lord. I'm sorry I didn't see you guys over there. That's why Warlord was over on YouTube. Buddy, you got a lot of issues, Timothy. Being a dumb fuck. Top of the list. We're about an hour and 20 minutes away from South Park. We will be watching South Park live on Kick and D Live. I'm sorry, Flash. I have no idea how it works over there either. J.D. Vance gave a speech earlier today in Concord, North Carolina. This is what he had to say.
If you want to stop political violence, stop attacking our law enforcement as the Gestapo. If you want to stop political violence, stop telling your supporters that everybody who disagrees with you is a Nazi. If you want to stop political violence, look in the mirror. That's the way that we stop political violence in this.
Wow, what an ironic statement. Jesus Christ. I don't tell everybody I disagree with that they're Nazis. I call Nazis Nazis. I'm very specific about who I call Nazis. And I would pose this question to you, J.D. Vance. If you don't want me to call these people Nazis, what should I call them? This is Unite the Right. This is a Trump rally. This is January 6th. What should I call these people? These are Trump supporters. White nationalist, you can call them that, but I mean, white nationalist is just another word for Nazi. What am I supposed to call people like this if they're not Nazis? I'm really curious. I was trying to go back to find that clip of J.D. Vance calling Trump a Nazi. I also had somebody who was like, oh, everybody calls Trump supporters fascists and Nazis. And, like, it's not the left calling Trump fascists and Nazis. Fucking... Here's John Kelly, Trump's former chief of staff, worked for the man, said that Trump praised Hitler and has fascist tendencies. Praised Hitler and has fascist tendencies. Yes, my friend, feds, law enforcement do tend to be white supremacists. That has been a problem. It's been a problem for a long time in this country. Do you know the Rage Against the Machine song? Some of those who work forces are the same that burn crosses? Yeah. Prevalence of white supremacists in law enforcement demands drastic change. A Reuters investigation, this is in 2022, indicates that a significant number of U.S. police instructors have ties to a constellation of armed right-wing militias and white supremacist hate groups, a report that adds to a fast-growing body of evidence showing a deadly threat inside U.S. police departments. Yeah, Detroit Dougie, you're right. The right doesn't shoot ICE. Correct. The shooter was targeting detainees. Goddamn, right-wingers are morons. Detroit Dougie. John Kelly did not create QAnon. Oh my God. I love you guys so much. Never stop being such complete fucking morons. You're the reason why I have so much content.
Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
J.D. Vance at the same speech earlier today said the violence comes from one side in this country.
you with one final thought here. Look, I was asked earlier today by a reporter I actually like, but a reporter who said, well, don't both sides have crazy people? And of course, obviously, country of 330 million people, of course, both sides have crazy people. But if you look at the political violence in our country over the last couple of months, the last couple of years, it is not a both sides problem. It is primarily
He's correct.
On one side of the political line.
He's correct.
So, if we are going to
Overwhelmingly from the right.
the political violence in this country, we need the Democratic leadership of Washington, D.C. to look in the mirror. We need them to renounce all political violence. When a poor kid like Charlie Kirk is gunned down in cold blood, we need them to start with condemning the violence instead of condemning something that Charlie Kirk said that they disagreed with. Let me just leave you with one final thought here.
He said the violence is coming from one side in this country. It absolutely is. The ADL says right-wing extremists are responsible for the great majority of extremist-related murders over the last decade. 76% coming from the right, only 4% coming from the left. Domestic Islamic extremists, 18%, which is also right-wing violence. This is the Prosecution Project. Ideologies behind political violence in America. Up until September of 2024, the overwhelming majority comes from the right. Just last week, following the shooting of Charlie Kirk, the White House did the bureaucratic equivalent of a dirty delete. U.S. Justice Department removes a study that found far-right extremists commit far more violence. The report finding right-wing extremists have killed more Americans than any other domestic terrorist group vanished from the DOJ website. Wonder why that happened. The report, now archived, titled What NIJ Research Tells Us About Domestic Terrorism, vanished from the Department of Justice website between the 11th and 12th of September. Boy, do we have an overgrown child problem in America. Right-wingers are overgrown children. You elected Trump, who is an overgrown child. Detroit, I promise you that people in my chat are far better trained with their arms than you are. Hey, Kick, I'm sorry you guys aren't showing up. I'm going to turn you off and turn you right back on. So just give it 1 second and refresh, okay? Like, you guys don't live in reality. How am I projecting? Detroit, you can absolutely argue with me. 917-830-4359. The problem is I'm going to use facts. I'm going to back up everything I say with facts, and you're just going to, about fucking nonsense. 917-830-4359. I mean, I don't know what you want me to, how many sources do I need to give you that show that the right-wingers commit all the violence in this country? Overwhelming majority of it. Would you like a list of just incidents that have taken place over the last couple of years? The man who targeted and killed Democratic state lawmaker Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark, Trump supporter. That was in June. The man charged with the attempted assassination of Pennsylvania Democratic Governor Josh Shapiro in April, Trump supporter. The man convicted of orchestrating a series of shootings at the homes of 4 Democratic elected officials in New Mexico in 2022, Trump supporter. The man who tried to kidnap Democratic House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and assaulted her husband Paul in 2022, a Trump supporter. The man who wanted to hang Mike Pence on January 6th, Trump supporters. The man who killed the son of an Obama-appointed district judge in 2020, a Trump supporter. The men who were convicted of trying to kidnap Michigan's Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer in 2020, Trump supporters. The men who sent pipe bombs to the homes of Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, and other top Democrats in 2018, Trump supporter. The man who killed left-wing activist Heather Heyer at Charlottesville in 2017, Trump supporter. Brother, I don't... Shags Malone, I'm sorry. Boy, like, I keep showing you guys facts, and your response is, oh, it was a leftist that put the list together. Come the fuck on. No, the Paul Pelosi attacker was a MAGA supporter. That is fucking indisputable. Chat is working now. We know this for a fact. I think he even watched Charlie Kirk. Rika Victor, you're probably referring to the dipshit that you guys falsely identified as the shooter. Guy with the same name who was a leftist wasn't the shooter. That happened earlier today. You guys are fucking idiots. You know he's already been convicted, right? He literally testified in court that he was a right-winger. I swear to God, you people don't know what you're talking about. Man accused of attacking Paul Pelosi with a hammer testifies that he was drawn to right-wing conspiracies by Gamergate. DePape spoke for more than an hour in which he tearfully recounted about how his political leanings went from leftist to right-wing after reading a comment on a YouTube video about former President Donald Trump. Like, seriously, what do I have to do to get through to you people? You're probably going to come at me with like, oh, 2020 was leftist. They burnt down cities. But a far-right group was prosecuted for burning down the Minneapolis police precinct. Brother, do you hear yourself? You're a conspiracy theorist. Feds say far-right group coordinated attack on Minneapolis police precinct. This was Trump's Justice Department that said that. This is October of 2020. Trump was still the president. I can't, like, you people are so fucking stupid or stuck in your bubbles that I can't get through to you, no matter how many fucking facts I show you. It's sad. I feel sorry for you people. Remember, Vance said violence in this country is one-sided. Vance said violence in this country is one-sided. I pointed out it all comes from the right. No, I didn't bring up the Hill as proof. That was the Justice Department. It was just the Hill reporting it. You can look up the actual fucking court documents. I have them. God, right-wingers are so fucking stupid. You don't know jack about fuck, but you have opinions about everything. J.D. Vance says violence coming from one side in this country, says the Democrats need to take a look in the mirror and tone down their rhetoric. Here's Jesse Waters on Fox News today.
What's going on with the escalator? What do you think?
Yeah, they sabotaged them.
Yeah.
And they could have hurt the First Lady.
Yeah.
Trump would have fallen and he would have gotten back up. But, you know,
they would have blamed it on his rhetoric.
And then they sabotaged the teleprompter.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an insurrection. And what we need to do.
A former speechwriter for Obama came out on Twitter and said there is absolutely no way the UN could sabotage the teleprompter because it's going to be Trump's people operating the teleprompter. There's going to be a trained military personnel from the Trump administration who is in charge of the teleprompter. So these people are lying to you. They take advantage of the fact that you're all fucking morons, and they lie to you and they feed you bullshit.
Is either leave the UN or we need to bomb it. It is in New York, though, right?
Yeah,
there could be some fallout there.
Yeah.
All right.
Worry. What's going on with you?
Bro, you can't even properly spell your. You are. UYOU''RE. All right, Tyler, my friend, what is, like, am I going to have to tap the sign again? Once again, a far-right group was prosecuted for burning down the Minneapolis police precinct. There was also an attack on the courthouse in Nashville. Also, the far-right Boogaloo Boys. They were prosecuted, are currently serving time. The vast majority of extremist-related killings in the U.S. committed by the right, 76%. Ladyboy dicks. Victor, for the love of God, it's all you guys think about. I'm actually attracted to trans people. Have dated multiple trans people. I don't ever talk about them. Every single right-winger that comes into my chat brings up trans people. You are obsessed. You jack off to trans porn, and then you hate yourself for it because you listen to right-wing propaganda that tells you should feel bad about it. Fucking come out of the closet. Stop being repressed. Oh, Potato, do you want a different source? You want the Prosecutor Project? I got that one over here. They say all the violence coming from the right. Up until last week, the U.S. Justice Department acknowledged that all the violence coming from the right. U.S. Justice Department removed a study that found that far-right extremists commit far more violence. Logic is a set of rules that are called, violation of those rules are called the rules for logical inference. I have been trained in logic, so please don't use the word logic. I don't think men can become women. No, nobody believes men can become women other than right-wingers believe that the left believes that. Liberty Dodge, go back and watch this episode, and it's pretty clear he's not a leftist. You're an idiot. This is why I have to call right-wingers morons. I have to keep tapping the sign. I can't just keep confronting you guys with facts, and you all just like denying it. We're about an hour away from South Park. Kick and D-Live viewers will get to watch South Park live with me. Sorry, YouTube. Can't do it because of the copyright. The Trump administration continues to try to do the thing that they accuse the Biden administration of. That's prosecute their political opponents with bullshit. Former FBI Director James Comey expected to be indicted in the coming days.
Scott, this is reporting from MSNBC, who is reporting just now that multiple sources familiar are telling them that former FBI Director James Comey is expected to be indicted within coming days. They say this is a fluid situation, but that is the current expectation, is that an indictment would come out of the Eastern District of Virginia, potentially on allegations of lying to Congress back in 2020 in testimony up on Capitol Hill. Now, you'll remember, Scott, that the Eastern District of Virginia is where President Trump recently forced out a prosecutor who
because they wouldn't bring charges against Comey
to move ahead with charges against some of the people that President Trump views as his political enemies. You saw over the weekend the president posting on social media urging his Attorney General Pam Bondi to proceed with cases against James Comey and others. The president tweeting over the weekend, or posting over the weekend, I should say, Pam, I have reviewed over 30 statements and posts saying that essentially same old story, no talk, all talk, no action, nothing is being done. What about Comey, Adam Schiff, Letitia? They're all guilty as hell, but nothing is going to be done. So the president urging his attorney general to move forward with cases against those folks. Now this new reporting from MSNBC suggesting that Comey, anyway, is expected to be indicted in the coming days, but of course cautioning this is a fluid fluid situation, and that could change. But that is the reporting as of right now. Scott, back over.
Amen. Thank you.
Hey, X, my friend, rewind YouTube like 30 minutes and watch and see how wrong you are. I've already done that part. If you would like to have a conversation with me, you can call in 917-830-4359, or you can hop in the Discord, and we can have a conversation about it. But the shooter's brother said he was apolitical, and law enforcement says he was targeting the detainees and not ICE. So, and those are the facts as we have it. Anyone else saying anything else, accusing him of being a leftist, you are operating on fucking fantasy shit. We do not have any indication that he was a leftist or a right-winger for that matter. All indication right now is that he was apolitical, because that's what we have from his family. I'm sorry, facts don't care about your fucking feelings, snowflakes. We're an hour away from South Park on Kick and D Live. Now let's get to the special election last night that happened in Arizona, which, ooh boy, this is going to cause some headaches for Mike Johnson, and I am here for it. House lawman, God damn it. Fucking New York Times. Top Democrats are investigating whether law firms that cut deals with President Trump are illegally providing free legal work for his administration. Kimmel return. Not the story I wanted. We're getting there, but God damn it. Won the special election. God fuck. Go to USA Today instead. Democrat Adelita Gravala wins her late father's House seat in Arizona special election. This is going to trigger the discharge petition that will release the Epstein files finally. Adelita Gravala, a former member of the Pima County Board of Supervisors, defeated Republican opponent Daniel Gutierrez, a registered contractor. She will now represent Arizona's 7th Congressional District. She delivered an emotional acceptance speech from under a banner that said "History Made," acknowledging she will be the first Latina to represent Arizona in Congress. Her victory means Democrats now hold 214 seats in the House, and Republicans control 219 seats. House Speaker Mike Johnson already faced difficulties getting legislation across the finish line with a razor-thin GOP majority. He can afford to lose only 2 Republican votes on any given bill. Gravala told Politico that she will support a bipartisan effort that would force the public release of files related to sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. In her victory speech, she pledged to uproarious applause to sign onto the discharge petition on her first day in Congress. Thus far, Congress has acted as a rubber stamp, advocating its constitutional duty. We will check the MAGA agenda, and we will hold this administration accountable. We will finally get the Epstein files. Kyle Dogs, welcome in. A statue mysteriously appeared today on the National Mall. And it showed Trump and Epstein holding hands. Removed as fast as it appeared. Ow, my motherfucker. Rewind the show. I've already done this. I've already proven you idiots wrong. God damn. A statue of President Trump holding hands with Jeffrey Epstein appeared briefly on DC's National Mall this week, only to be removed after less than a day. The bronze-painted installation titled Best Friends Forever depicts the two men smiling at each other, each with an arm and leg raised, as if in mid-frolic. In honor of Friendship Month, we celebrate the long-lasting bond between President Donald J. Trump and his closest friend, Jeffrey Epstein. This reads the plaque emblazoned with hands making a heart shape. September is widely recognized as Friendship Month. Epstein survivors are fed up with the Trump administration and his stonewalling and clearly protecting himself. This is Tara Palmeretti on MSNBC. She did a series of interviews with survivors.
And it's painful for these girls. I mean, I speak to them frequently. I'm on text chains with a lot of the survivors. I keep calling them girls, but they're women. They're my age. They're your age. And they tell me, you know, they're fed up. And they're talking about doing opposition research on these members and shaming them and showing their ties to Jeffrey Epstein, because everybody has a tie to Jeffrey Epstein. I can tell you that. And I've got some reporting coming out to show that, what a deciding vote, the kind of ties that this, you know, senator had to Jeffrey Epstein on deciding not to release these files. And you know who's looking into all of that? It's the survivors. They're sitting around and they are angry and they are lobbying and they are calling and they are trying to figure out how to make the door to justice open, even if they have to break it down. And it's painful.
GT Foxy, what do you mean it's not going to age well? All my takes age well. I'm constantly right about everything. I already proved you guys wrong. Dude's not a leftist. The FBI lied to you, and the FBI screwed up their investigation. If you would like to actually get proven wrong, you can rewind the stream. We've already been there, done that. Hey, I apologize for that one. Yeah, I was wrong on that one. That one didn't age well. Well, Lord, keeping me honest over here.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
God damn it, Richard. Okay, I was wrong about that one, too. I had to shave my head because I said that they'd never actually indict Trump. Did you know comedy is legal now, unless you're Jimmy Kimmel? If you're Trump or some shit poster in the Trump administration, you can absolutely come out here and do comedy bits. Like this one. Ha ha ha. Biden's auto pen. Ha ha ha. That Trump used more times than Biden. Whoa! It's so insane. And why do the pictures start going upwards? Why are there steps up there? The hypocrisy. Libertad, welcome in. The hypocrisy of these people is insane. Yeah, I thought Kimmel did a good job last night. He hit harder than I thought he would. It's not as hard as I would have gone. I would have gone a lot harder. But that's me. I would have went after Charlie Kirk. I definitely wouldn't have fake cried over Erica. But all in all, for ABC and Jimmy Kimmel, I got to give him props. It's better than I thought he would do. And apparently it was a pretty big hit with everybody except the White House.
And last night, Jimmy Kimmel made an emotional return to his late-night TV show. During his opening monologue, the comedian said there was nothing funny about the killing of conservative...
John Prick, you told us that you were upset about an Ilhan Omar quote that you had never fucking heard before. So you're not aware of anything. Shut the fuck up, you dumb motherfucker.
Activist Charlie Kirk. And CBS News correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti is outside the show's studio in Hollywood once again. Good morning, Jonathan. So bring us up to speed. What happened inside last night?
Yeah, good morning, Errol. Last night's show, it was emotional, it was passionate. Ultimately, it was a tribute to free speech. Jimmy Kimmel has hosted nearly 4,000 episodes. Last night, perhaps, was his most consequential. Greeted by chants and a lengthy standing ovation, it was a triumphant return for late-night host Jimmy Kimmel.
I'm happy to be here tonight with you.
An emotional Kimmel took the stage for the first time since his nearly week-long suspension following comments he made about the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
That it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't think there's anything funny about it.
Yeah, that's my job. I make light of his murder.
Saying he felt lucky to live in a country where he could speak freely.
Don't encroach on my territory.
What is important is that we get to live in a country that allows us to have a show like this.
He thanked supporters, including Democrats and Republicans, who united against efforts to censor the comedian.
It takes courage for them to speak out against this administration, and they did, and they deserve credit for it. And thanks.
Two major station groups, Sinclair and Nexstar, said they would not air Kimmel's program on Tuesday. They represent about a quarter of ABC affiliates. Kimmel also slammed FCC Chairman Brendan Carr.
Remember, John is our resident Christian in the chat. He talks about how wonderful he is and how he loves everybody and how godly he is, but yet he violates Jesus' commandment not to judge others and calls Kimmel a liar. John, you're a liar.
For his apparent threats to scrutinize ABC because of his show.
In addition to being a direct violation of the First Amendment, is not a particularly intelligent threat to make in public.
He really came out tonight and set a tone that was respectful, a little apologetic, but as irreverent as ever, because that's who Kimmel is.
Entertainment Tonight host Kevin Frazier.
He was tested not only by the network, by the affiliates, but also people in this country who were questioning him. And he stood 2 feet deep in the sand and said, "Here I am."
Kimmel also had a little help from Robert De Niro, who channeled past roles to star as a new mafioso FCC chair.
Speech, it ain't free no more.
What? It's not free no more?
Yeah, we're charging by the word now.
And just before...
And John, just like with you and Ilhan Omar, I'm going to ask you, what did Kimmel lie about? And you're going to lie about Kimmel, just like you lied about Ilhan Omar. Krong, are you dumb? Because that's not the shooter. That was somebody that the right wing had falsely identified as the shooter. Just a guy with the same name. So, fucking morons. Yeah, Flash, we ditched it after that second part, after De Niro, and we went to a police chase. You admit what, John? You keep talking about how pious you are. And I keep showing that the Bible says for you to do the opposite of everything that you do. So I don't know what you want from me, brother. You come in here, you say Jimmy Kimmel's a liar. I'm calling you a liar. I have a fantastic way of pointing out your hypocrisy and your idiocy. What did Jimmy Kimmel lie about, you piece of shit? Go on. Go on, John. Tell me, what did Jimmy Kimmel lie about? The Bible says not to bear false witness now, but you bared false witness against Ilhan Omar the other day. We proved it. You're just a racist piece of shit, John. What did Jimmy Kimmel lie about? Any real Christian would be an avowed socialist. You probably don't know what pious means, John. But you do it all the fucking time. Now, what did Jimmy Kimmel lie about? Go on. He didn't say that the shooter was MAGA. I think he might have said one of their own, and that's true. From a Republican family, from a gun-toting family. Grandmother said she didn't know any Democrats. So, sorry about that. We have no indication that he was any kind of leftist. We have every indication that he was from a MAGA-loving family. Yeah, I don't think he said... I think he said something about one of their own. Yeah, we're talking about Orem, Utah. So, you bared false witness against Jimmy Kimmel. So there you go. Not spin, you were a liar. You were a liar. You were a liar, John. Like, you're the one that keeps trying to spin things. Are you guys ready for our government to issue a Charlie Kirk coin? Representative August Flugger and Representative Abe Hamada are set to introduce legislation this week which would instruct the Department of Treasury to mint 400,000 silver dollar coins in commemoration of Charlie Kirk. Since Kirk's assassination 2 weeks ago, Republican lawmakers have... John, you were proven wrong. I'm not running cover for anyone. Stop coming in here and trying to interrupt my goddamn show. I hate you. I think you're a piece of shit. I think you are a liar and a racist. Do we have that clear? I think you are a racist because you are a fucking racist. And you're really fucking dumb. Jimmy Kimmel didn't lie. You just got proven wrong. You wanted to make up something to try to play victim. Donald Trump lies all the goddamn time, and you don't give a shit. He's the president. He's not a talk show host. Hold your goddamn president to a higher standard than a fucking talk show host. John, you gigantic piece of shit. You suck. You suck a lot. Yes, I hate you because you're dumb and you lie constantly and you try to interrupt my show. You come in here and you lie in my chat to interrupt my show and get me off track because you have main character syndrome. You can't accept that things aren't about fucking you. So please, stop coming in and being a pick-me in my chat. You're fucking stupid. Fair enough. Getting me off track is very easy. Since Kirk's assassination 2 weeks ago, Republican lawmakers have sought to ensure that Kirk's memory is not forgotten. From passing a resolution honoring Kirk's life. By the way, there were children that died the same day in a school shooting. There's no resolution to honor their life. That's how much Republicans fucking care. And they passed a resolution declaring October 14th, Kirk's birthday, the National Day of Remembrance for Charlie Kirk. For no reason at all, I'm going to tell you the story of a man by the name of Horst Wessel. Horst Ludwig Horg Erich Wessel. I'm sorry, Vessel. He was killed, and the Nazis used his death to make him into a national hero. I mispronounce names all the time. They even made a song about him. And it became the official anthem of the Nazi Party. For no reason whatsoever do I bring this man up. We mentioned the day of Charlie's shooting that a writer for Jezebel had actually hired witches on Etsy to put a curse on Charlie Kirk. Erica Kirk genuinely rattled after Jezebel paid witches on Etsy to curse husband Charlie Kirk 2 days before he was assassinated. Grieving widow Erica Kirk was genuinely rattled after feminist website Jezebel published an unsettling story bragging how the author paid witches on Etsy to curse her husband, Charlie, just 2 days before the conservative icon was assassinated. And this is what Megyn Kelly revealed. Kelly ripped the Lefty outlet for publishing the vile article. I have the Megyn Kelly clip, actually. I thought this was going to be just citing Erica over here, but apparently it's citing Megyn Kelly citing Erica. Oh, God, it's like 7 minutes long.
And while their article about all of this it was published on Monday, September 8th, it makes clear that the writer contracted for the curse in late August. She says she wanted it to line up with the new moon in Virgo, which this year meant August 23rd. That tracks because she points out in the piece that by August 24th, she was waiting impatiently for results. The witch, they reveal, promised on August 23rd that, quote, "It's a witch!" First results within 2 to 3 weeks. This was 18 days before Charlie was killed.
Also, we read the article. It is not available anymore. I'm sure there's an archive of it somewhere. But, like, the article is clearly pointing out that these are scams and how they're trying to upsell her to, like, make the spells more potent and shit. It's really fucking funny. Also in the article, she says she hopes no physical harm comes to Charlie Kirk and she just wants him to have a bad day or something. That's seriously all it says.
Killed. Not satisfied with this curse, the amped up one, alone, Jezebel reached out to a, quote, third witch, Priestess Lilin. Jezebel opined, if enough people cursed a single person, would the results be stronger? Quote, when I asked her if she'd noticed more political figures being targeted these days, she said yes. The next day, Lilin sent the Jezebel writer proof of the hex she had cast, quote, a photograph in flames, the edges slowly curling inward, engulfing Charlie's ridiculous, scrunched up little face.
Pissing out the side of your neck sounds like a bad day indeed.
To the Jezebel reporter, trust the unseen. Chills, writes Jezebel. Sunday, August 24th passed, writes the author, and nothing. Monday, August 25th, still nothing. Tuesday, August 26th, nothing. But then she writes, she reminded herself, this is witchcraft, not Amazon.
With a hard W.
Her own schedule. The Jezebel writer ends the piece as follows. So, did my Etsy curses work? Time will tell. The forces move in mysterious ways. And as the priestess Lilin reminded me, spell work is a collaboration between the caster, the client, and the universe itself. For now, we can only trust in the timing of the great unknown. To you, Mr. Kirk, may the rash come swiftly. 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, rash. That's what it was. You want him to have a rash or something.
2 days after Jezebel published that article, Charlie was killed by an assassin's bullet. I know what you're thinking. This is a bullshit Etsy curse. Why are we spending time on this?
Yeah.
Stay with me for now. After the shooting, Jezebel took down the article, quote, on the recommendation of our lawyers. They underscored that the piece was meant to be humorous, intended as...
It was hilarious.
Made clear they wished Charlie, quote, no physical harm, which is not the full story now, is it? At the same time, they said of the article, quote, we stand by every word, which means they did want him cursed. They wanted everyone to hate him. They wanted it to be powerful, and they wanted Charlie, quote, punished for years of regressive rhetoric.
Sure.
They also...
Yeah, God is weaker than witchcraft, apparently.
Was, quote, driven by an abundance of caution for our staff. In other words, they were worried about violence against them by Charlie Kirk supporters. They also, wished, quote, to avoid the piece being misused in a tense and volatile environment. There was not, they made clear, any change in their editorial and judgment. In fact, they emphasized, quote, we may republish at a later date. They then rambled on about the country's gun problem and the heated political divide in the country and free speech, noting they do not actually condone political violence. Now, again, you may be saying to yourself, why are we talking about Etsy curses? None of this is real. Well, 2 things. First of all, Christians are opposed to casting spells or trying to contact the spirit world. Not only because they believe there's only one God, but because they acknowledge...
Bullshit! What do you think it is when you pray? That is telepathically communicating with a deity. Where you're asking God to answer your prayers is casting spells. God, shut up.
The existence of the devil and evil spirits. Here is Father Mike Schmidt. He was on the day Charlie died, helping us through that as well. But he came on our show first time a couple of years ago, and here he is discussing this very subject.
The motivation behind the Ouija board is actually something where I'm trying to contact spirits. And someone could say, well, I'm trying to contact nice spirits or good spirits. And the unfortunate thing we know about is that, yes, when God created angels, he created angels. They're good. They're beautiful. They're in harmony with him. But also we know that a number of those.
Ooh, I should get the media winch to get out the Ouija board. See if we can contact Charlie Kirk. Would you guys like that? You want to see that tomorrow?
Said no to God. A person who's reasonable would say, but I'm just playing. And I would say, I completely understand that. And then I would say, at the same time, you remember the movie The Exorcist?
Of course.
Yeah. How can you forget it? So that story is based off of 2 true stories. And one of the true stories is, I believe, about
The Exorcist, not a true story.
If I can get the details right, is about a young man who was at, kind of like a birthday party, some kind of celebration of some sort with kids. And they just busted out the Ouija board and just played for fun. But that was an entry point for what ultimately became a possession.
In other words, you're playing with fire, messing with this stuff. There actually are demons in this world. Calling up the spirit world.
I'm looking at one.
The devil's spirit world can actually have real world consequences. It's not something to mess with. Many Christians believe this. This is dangerous. It's not a game. It's literally evil. Second,
literally evil.
This is what I really want you all and the people at Jezebel and Etsy to know. Erica and Charlie Kirk heard about these curses, and that news genuinely rattled Erica in particular. She knew Christian teaching on the subject. She loved Charlie, absolutely. And she was scared when she heard of the curses Jezebel had called up. So much so that she and Charlie contacted a friend who I believe she said was a Catholic priest, but definitely a friend, and asked him to come over and pray with them.
Where's my rosary?
The night before he was murdered. She eventually worked it through, and so did Charlie. That, as she later told me, weapons will form but not prosper.
Seriously, where is my rosary?
And those witches have no power. Of course, God's will is the one that matters, and his blessing over Charlie was real and palpable. All you had to do was spend time with Charlie to know that. But why torture a family like this? A Christian, believing family. Why do this vile thing to a young couple, parents to two babies, living in accordance with the gospel deeply?
Listen, bitch, if Charlie Kirk wasn't out here sticking his big fucking dick in everything, going to all these college campuses and buying space in our algorithm, then none of us would give a shit about him. He could live with his 2 kids and wife. He'd still be alive right now. Nobody would care. But you guys try to force him down our throat.
In love. Yes, political, but doing nothing other than speaking publicly about their views and their desires to make other people's lives better. Who would do such a vile thing?
Charlie Kirk didn't try to make anybody's life better. If he actually lived like Jesus commanded, this is what I keep telling you, John. If you actually behaved like Jesus said to behave, nobody would have a problem with you. The problem is that you claim to be a Christian and then do the opposite of what Jesus said. Jesus said, love everybody. Treat others the way you would want to be treated, to turn the other cheek. Rich people should give everything they own to the poor. You're supposed to care about the incarcerated, the downtrodden, the least among us. How you will be judged by how you treat the least among us. But you guys attack the most marginalized communities. You attack trans people. You attack immigrants. You are insane about being hard on the incarcerated. You're not wanting to give them a chance to be reformed. You guys act nothing like Jesus. That's why we say Republican Jesus. Because it's the complete opposite of what the Bible actually teaches. Not a single one of us would have a problem if you actually acted like Jesus. But what you actually want is to force your views down our throat. You want to tell us that it's a Christian country and that we can't receive the medical care that we need. Because it's against your beliefs. That trans people can't exist in polite society because it's against your beliefs. That we need to have the 10 Commandments posted in school. You guys do this to us. We want to live in a secular, plural society where everybody has the freedom to do whatever they want. Where Charlie Kirk can raise a family by whatever values he chooses to live by. But instead, he was paid by a billionaire to go out here and run his goddamn mouth and tell everybody else how to live their lives. And I have a problem with that. Carla, welcome in. John, I'm supposed to know you by fucking, once again, the Bible says I am supposed to know you by your works, not your words. You're not supposed to tell me that you donate to the homeless. That is you being a hypocrite. I am supposed to know you're a Christian by the way you act, and you act the exact opposite of a Christian. I've given you multiple examples. And another one just now. Brother, I can't do it again. I can't sit here and play Charlie Kirk videos for you all night. We've already done this. It's a waste of time. I already made a video about it. I already showed you specifically Charlie Kirk versus Barack Obama. There are a group of idiots, I guess, trying to take the place of Charlie Kirk. Went to Tennessee State University earlier today, unannounced, to try to do like a Charlie Kirk debate me thing. They had incendiary signs. This was an HBCU. This is a black college. And they went and said racist things.
A clash on campus sparking a debate about the First Amendment. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Carrie Sharp. Members of Fearless Debate say they were just trying to create conversation and discourse on Tennessee State University's grounds.
But the NAACP's Nashville chapter says the group came to campus with rhetoric aimed at provoking and demeaning students. News Channel 5's Aaron Cantrell tells us how the fallout is having a big impact.
Because this incident has gone viral, it's sparking strong responses from not only students, also alumni, advocacy groups, and beyond. The group behind the Fearless Tour, a grassroots organization inspired by the late Charlie.
The Fearless Tour.
Bringing honest conversation and open debate back to America's college campuses.
And I would say no, they're just trying to do the same grift that Charlie Kirk did. They're trying to get rich doing the same exact thing.
Getting rid of DEI works towards that objective. On Tuesday, the conservative commentators entered Tennessee State University, a historically black college without permission, according to officials, bringing a table, microphone, and inflammatory signs, sparking outrage from students. Campus police and staff responded, removing them from the property.
You know, in a university, I think particularly in the aftermath of Charlie Kirk, there are some genuine security issues, not just for people on campus, but for people who might be coming in.
TSU says students conducted themselves professionally and respectfully. Social media posts from the group show students shouting, filming, and following them as they were escorted away. John Vial, a contributor to MTSU's First Amendment Encyclopedia, says TSU had the right to remove the group under its policy requiring advance approval for demonstrations.
You know, what TSU has done, as far as I can tell, is perfectly legitimate. There are different rules for different places.
But the NAACP Nashville chapter goes further, saying this was not just political expression, but an intentional effort to antagonize, disrupt, and instill fear in a space meant to be safe and supportive for black students. They added, "We are both infuriated and alarmed that groups like Fearless Debates are
John,
HBCUs in 2020."
That sounds higher than the normal graduation rate at most public colleges. That sounds higher, my friend. As somebody who dropped out of college and went back later on, you know, it's pretty fucking common. But, like, you hear this story and you attack the students. You're a racist. What other thing can I just pathetic response by the students? What the fuck are you talking about? You're a racist.
The group shows students shouting, filming, and following them as they were escorted away.
D-minus, well again.
Vial, a contributor to MTSU's First Amendment Encyclopedia, says TSU had the right to remove the group under its policy requiring advance approval for demonstrations.
You know, what TSU has done, as far as I can tell, is perfectly legitimate. There are different rules for different places.
But the NAACP Nashville chapter goes further, saying this was not just political expression, but an intentional effort to antagonize, disrupt, and instill fear in a space meant to be safe and supportive for black students. They added, "We are both infuriated and alarmed that groups like Fearless Debates are targeting HBCUs in 2025 with rhetoric that echoes a long history of exclusion, racism, and systemic oppression." TSU representatives say they are reviewing all video footage to determine how the individuals gained access to the campus. In Nashville, Aaron Cantrell, News Channel 5.
Let's watch one of my favorite clips that they posted. They wanted to make it seem like they are being attacked. They wanted to play victim as always, because you can get people on the right outraged, like, oh my God, They're being victimized by the students on the campus they were trespassing on. The party of tolerance strikes again. Left-wing rioters kick out young patriots. It was the school that kicked them out because they were trespassing. Remember, we just watched the story on it. It was the school that kicked them out for trespassing. The students are just expressing themselves.
Gosh, they threw a drink up top.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Did somebody just throw something in our car?
Arrest. They just tried to hit the car. They're still hitting the car. Whoa! That was loud.
You're right, Flash. That's a really nice car. Yes, racism was on full display from these MAGA idiots.
They threw a drink up top.
They went to a black college, said incendiary things, got kicked out for trespassing, and you think they're the victims. You are the racist.
That was loud.
And they're just doing it to try to make money. They're just doing it to try to make money. It's so sad, and it works on idiots like John. That's what's amazing. Because John is already biased towards that point of view. We are 20 minutes away from South Park on Kick and D-Live. Sorry to YouTube people, but I do have a video set to premiere on YouTube directly after this. If you did not see the call from last night, it's pretty wild. You might enjoy. Speaking of wild, this is my favorite mayoral candidate in the country by far. His name is Jojo Siwa, and he has the most awesome beret ever. And he says Andrew Cuomo is trying to bribe him to get him out of the race.
The battle for the next mayor of New York taking a nasty turn tonight. Republican candidate Curtis Sliwa quite publicly claiming that one of his opponents, former Governor Cuomo, has offered money to get him out of the race. Mr. Cuomo vehemently denying that today and saying Mr. Sliwa is lying about all this. This in a race with no shortage of twists so far and with 41 days left before the election. With the latest, here's NJ Burkett.
Republican mayoral candidate Curtis Sliwa stepped to the microphones and said the Cuomo campaign and unspecified intermediaries are offering him millions of dollars to quit the race.
That's the way they talk. Come on, Curtis. Everybody has a price. Curtis Sliwa doesn't have a price.
Sliwa declined to name individuals.
Oh my God, the fact that Cuomo's Italian. I could just, an intermediary. Intermediary. I can't talk tonight. Intermediary. But I could just see Cuomo saying, come on, Curtis. Everyone has, I'm Italian.
But stood by the allegations.
It's all Cuomo. How do you know that? I know that. I've had conversations with them. Oh, come on. Cuomo's a flawed candidate. We all know that. But we all have to come together in order to defeat Mamdani.
Every major poll shows Sliwa running third. The latest gives Democrat Zohran Mamdani 45% of likely votes.
I was hoping he's...
Cuomo.
I want Jojo Siwa to finish second. I want him to beat Cuomo so fucking bad. Can we get that? I didn't realize he was polling above Adams. That's fantastic. Holy shit. I want Siwa to beat Cuomo. There's no way he's winning. Mamdani is the next mayor of New York City.
4, Sliwa with 17, and Mayor Adams with 9%. Cuomo has a theoretical path to City Hall, but not in a four-way race. Today, his campaign spokesman denied the allegations. Curtis Sliwa is a liar and a fraudster who is admitted to faking crimes for publicity. This is more of the same. Sliwa went on to claim without evidence that Mayor Adams has also been approached.
I anticipate at any moment Eric Adams will have determined that the price is right
and he'll be bowing out. He's a clown looking to turn New York City into a circus, Adams told Eyewitness News. I have never been offered anything to leave the race. It's insulting to suggest otherwise. Mamdani today.
He was, though. We know he was offered a position by the Trump administration.
Eric Adams and Curtis Sliwa, I trust Curtis Sliwa's word the most. And
I think Curtis Sliwa actually believes the shit that he says.
I think it speaks to the fact that New Yorkers deserve to make their own decision as to who should lead this city.
Whether this ends in a two-way race is difficult to predict, but it's looking less and less likely by the day. At City Hall, NJ Burke at Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
John, I didn't gloss over your comment. I have a show to do, and you keep interrupting my show, and your comment was incredibly stupid. So since you want me to acknowledge it, I'm going to go back to it. You asked me, are you saying black people are incapable of hearing different opinions without the potential for violence? I never said that at all. That's your racist ass saying that. What happened was that a group of people who were trying to cause a scene for social media for views and clicks were trespassing on a campus and were thrown out. They said incendiary things, and the students made their voices known. And I think you're a fucking racist piece of shit. You tried to attack the students. You tried to attack their intelligence. You talked about graduation rates. You're a piece of shit, John. You're the racist. So there we go. I addressed your racist comment. I explained how it was racist. And you are literally the brainwashed one. You believe in a book. You don't even follow the book that you claim to believe in. Instead, you follow political fucking grifters on the internet. And you believe what they say. You are literally brainwashed. Anyway, it's 15 minutes until South Park for Kick and D-Live viewers. We also might have a police chase coming up later. There was a very interesting one that took place in LA earlier today. But speaking of a chase, there's actually a standoff on Long Beach at a 7-Eleven, which ended with the suspect getting away.
Now at 5:30, businesses shut down in downtown Long Beach because of an hours-long standoff with a robbery suspect.
KCAL assignment editor Mike Rogers is live.
John, there was no violence. You are lying. Mob violence. That is you lying. They threw a fucking drink at the guys, and they like smacked the back of their car or something. There was no violence. You saying mob violence is just you once again saying racist shit about a group of people. Seriously. Please stop trying to interrupt my show. This is why I fucking hate you.
Out of the desk, and Mike, just a few minutes ago, you got an update from police.
We did get an update from police, and police are telling us right now that they did not find their suspect. So this has all been going on since 2 in the morning inside of the 7-Eleven, where an alleged armed robbery suspect was held up. Police say they got a perimeter set up around the 7-Eleven, and then for hours and hours and hours and hours, they tried to negotiate and get the suspect to come out. So after several hours, then late into the afternoon and into the evening tonight, the Long Beach Police Department SWAT team went into the business. And when they were in the business, they didn't find anybody inside. Now, Long Beach Police is not saying right now at all where they think that suspect may have gone, if he potentially got out through a neighboring business or when that happened. But you had a 13-hour standoff in this situation here where businesses were closed in the area as a result of it. And ultimately, Long Beach Police didn't even find the person they were looking for. We have asked police if they have any clues as to where this person went or potentially what he might look like. So far, we're waiting to hear back tonight.
All right. Thanks so much, Mike.
If you threw a drink at me, I would laugh my ass off, you dumb motherfucker. You're just wanting to play victim. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to play victim for clicks and views. They got what they wanted, John. Fuck all the way off, man. People throw drinks all the goddamn time. It happens at sports games all the fucking time. Like, you're just making up bullshit. It's so goddamn annoying. Some thieves drove from Texas to Minnesota. That's another one of these. We've watched way too many of these here lately. These people apparently were advertising how much crypto they had to online followers. Ended up getting them kidnapped at gunpoint.
And a wild story unfolding in Washington County. On Friday night, the Matamidi High School homecoming football game was canceled as law enforcement searched for 2 armed and dangerous men. Well, now prosecutors say those men held a family hostage while robbing them of cryptocurrency. Fox 9's Karen Scullin reports.
This street here behind me is where the family was held hostage inside their own home. Across the street from there where I am is where the middle school, high school, and elementary schools all are. This case really almost unbelievable, but it appears to be very real and very scary. Early Friday morning, the sun just coming up. 2 men carried out a home invasion on Inwood Way in Grant that was nothing short of terrifying.
I actually don't know that they were influencers. So I might have added that in just because I assumed how else would these people drive from Texas to Minnesota to get to them. But I don't actually have that information.
Forcing the homeowner into his garage at gunpoint, then tying his hands with zip ties and forcing him inside the home. A mother and son were inside and also bound with zip ties and held at gunpoint, allegedly by Raymond Christian Garcia. But that was just the beginning. The first victim was forced to access his cryptocurrency accounts and transfer $36,000 to an unknown cyber wallet. Court documents show Isaiah Angelo Garcia forced that same victim to drive 3 hours to his cabin in Jacobson, Minnesota, where another crypto wallet was stored. He then transferred another $36,000. They then drove back to the Inwood Way home, but just minutes earlier, the son, being held at gunpoint inside the home, snuck a call to 911. By this time, 9 hours had passed. Law enforcement arrived and the men took off running. A shotgun was found in the weeds not far from the home. Also, a dark suitcase was found nearby containing clothes, cans, and an AR-15 with ammunition and a Wendy's receipt. That Wendy's receipt proved to be key in tracking down, which was rented in Waller, Texas, by one of the defendants. A lot of surveillance video from the victim's neighborhood, Wendy's, and a Motel 6, where they were staying, helped detectives piece it all together. The pair had driven 17 hours to target a family they didn't know. The victims believe they found them because some of his cryptocurrency account information had been leaked during a data breach. Now, the brothers share a home in Waller, Texas. That is where they were arrested. That is also where the rental car was found. Now, there's one big question in all this kind of looming. One of the defendants was actually on the phone with a third party while that cryptocurrency was being transferred. That person on the phone helping them with that process. It's unclear at this point if police know who that is or where they are. In Grant, Karen Scullin, Fox 9.
John, I would say the same fucking shit to your face that I do right now on the stream. You can ask anybody that knows me in real life. I am the exact same person. And I would call you a racist and a dumb fuck and a piece of shit to your face. So there's no like you would win me over or anything. I think you are a horrible person. And I have made my point over and over again about how horrible you are. And how you don't even follow the book you profess to believe in. And you still just come in here and say the dumbest fucking shit and interrupt my show. I can't help myself because I love to argue with people. I can't help it. I see you respond and I have to respond back. And the show suffers because of it. Because it gets annoying that you just keep saying racist ass shit. It's just this blah, 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 blah. And we've actually got interesting shit to talk about. I'm never going to meet you in person. I find you repulsive as a human being. 100%. How do you not understand this? I have better things to do with my time than go to dinner with a racist.
Hello and welcome to the amazing world of cat massage. My name is Mary Jean Ballner, and this is my wonderful cat, Champion. In this videotape, you'll learn that your cat doesn't want petting anymore. Your cat wants a massage. And we'll be able to show you how, based on my book, Cat Massage. So continue watching, and you'll learn to bring on power purring.
This is found footage, so I don't think I'm going to get a copyright. This is Found Footage Fest.
Whenever.
Subscribe to them.
Keyboards, on the couch. Cat Massage makes TV commercials bearable. And of course, on the bed. Our best massage techniques were developed here. Cat massage is the easiest way to produce a cat smile and is a reliable source for cat giggles. Listen closely for cat giggles. Sometimes, cat will approach you for massage. You know what that's like. He's rubbing up against you. Or he'll simply give you a look that says, massage time.
5 minutes away from South Park.
Proud bodybuilders. Remember the old Simon and Garfunkel song? Slow down, you're moving too fast.
That was not the one I thought about.
And about cat massage. No more
I was singing Cecilia.
Now, let's look at pressures. Feather light. Barely make contact with your cat. Just feel for fur, like the touch of a fairy. When the purring becomes excessive, we call it power purring.
John, I have nothing in common with you. I am a decent human being.
Cat smiles. We've all
I try to live my life like Jesus.
Say more? Chest cupping. Champion and I did this as I was editing this script, and at one part, he wouldn't let me go. He was just sitting, resting, and...
You don't believe that, though. You believe other people are inferior. You are a racist.
In this case, a drooler is...
We've proven it over and over and over and over again.
Remember, you can't fool drool. Voice massage.
You can't fool drool.
The computer.
YouTube people.
Massage.
Rumble.
Compromised, and I sang to him.
D-Live, you're going to go away. You're going to come back.
One of our
podcast people, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun. We're at the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN. We'll see you tomorrow night on the Troll Patrol live.
It's you. Use our song. Change the name.